Hey guys, I'm Mike Trump, Director of Maintenance for Turbo Terminal Tractors. If you're watching this video, thank you for choosing Turbo for all your terminal tractor needs. Today we're going to be doing a brief overview and a driver orientation of our Ottawa T2 spotter. Okay guys, the first thing we're going to do in our driver orientation is we're going to do a check for any physical damage. We'll start at the top of the vehicle, working our way down, making sure we don't have any obstructions on our windshield, making sure it's not cracked or damaged. Then we're going to check for a lean to one side or the other and make sure we don't have any suspension issues. From there, we're going to go look under the vehicle and look for any drips or drops and make sure we don't have any fluids such as fuel, coolant, or oil leaking. Once we verify we have no leaks, we're going to begin walking around the front corner of the cab, checking for any more physical damage. Again, we're going to look at our tires, make sure that they're properly inflated, and make sure they have an even wear pattern. Behind the cab, you'll notice we have our fuel tank. We want to make sure our fuel cap is tight and that our fuel tank is securely fastened. From here we have our battery cover. It says do not step, and we have our cab raise and lower switch, which we'll show you in a moment. This is your DEF cap for diesel exhaust fluid, not to be confused with the fuel. From there, we'll come over and we'll check our mud flaps front and rear. At this time, we'll check our tires for proper inflation and for wear. We'll come around the rear of the vehicle, checking for any damage, and we'll also take a peek under to make sure we don't have any fluid leaking that could indicate a leak from our differential. We'll check our mud flaps and our flex fenders, again checking our tires for even wear and proper inflation. Next we have our hydraulic fluid tank. We want to make sure that our hydraulic fluid is at the proper level. This particular unit has a dual fuel tank, so you want to make sure that this tank is tight and it's also securely fastened. From there we have our exhaust. You want to make sure that there are no damages to the exhaust shield that could indicate an issue. Again, checking your front tire to make sure that there is properly inflated and that there is no uneven wear. Once we have verified that everything is in good working order, it's time to safely enter the vehicle. Okay guys, before we enter the vehicle, first thing we want to do is make sure we check our fluids. We have our oil dipstick right here and our transmission fluid right here. Once we verify that those are at the proper level, we can then enter the vehicle. If there's any further assistance required and you must raise the cab, I'll show you how to do so at this time. So you have your red cable here and your up and down switch for your cab. You want to make sure that everybody is clear of obstructions by saying clear, pull the red cable, and depress the switch into the up position. You'll let the cable fall until it is in full lock position, and you'll bring it down until it's securely locked. Now it's safe to be under this cab. In order to lower it, we'll reverse that procedure by picking it up just a little, pull the red cable, and lower the cab back into position. It's also a good idea to make sure that you pull your air tank drains. This is especially important in the wintertime and should be done daily to ensure that no condensation is built up in your air tanks. Once all that's been completed, it's now safe to enter the vehicle. Okay guys, once we have verified that the vehicle is safe to enter, we'll now do so by using our 3 points of contact on the way up, and we'll enter. Okay guys, now that we've entered the vehicle, the first thing we want to do is put our seatbelt on for safe operation. On the way over, we want to check it for frays or damage and make sure it's securely fastened. Then we can turn our key to the on position and check for fault lamp illumination. Once we see our fault lamps illuminate, we'll wait till our wait to start lamp goes off and we'll turn the key to start the unit. Once the unit started, we'll look for any fault lamps that may remain illuminated that would indicate we have an issue. Then we're going to check our air pressure, and while the air pressure is building up, we want to go from left to right of our dash, working our way across the switches and make sure everything's working. Our first switch is going to be our headlamp switch. The first position is going to be for your daytime running lamps, and the second position is for your headlamps. The next switch we have is our bright and dim for our panel lights, and then our wiper washer switch. Then we have our turn signal indicator and our hazards. And then your gauge cluster here, you have your diesel exhaust fluid, your primary and secondary air, and your fuel gauge. Everything else will be a fault lamp illumination, such as your oil pressure. This lamp here is going to indicate that you're in a wheel spin, and it will activate the ABS and StabiliTrak at that time. Your blower motor and your AC controls are conveniently located right here in front of you. To ensure your AC is working, you must depress the blue switch and make sure it's illuminated. If you want to recirculate that air, you will depress the green one. From there you have work lamps and strobe lamps, your interior lamp, and your heated mirror. If it's equipped with a motorized mirror, that switch would be right next to it. Next we have our parking brake valve and our trailer brake valve. We can apply those before we select our gear. Our gear is on a shift pad, reverse, neutral, and drive. And next we have our fifth wheel hoist control. If you push it up, that is down, and down, that is up. That can be clearly indicated by these indicators here. Once we're ready to release the trailer and everything is at the secure height, we will depress the fifth wheel control lock to release the trailer. Okay guys, now that we've performed our tug test and we've made sure our trailer is securely fastened, it's time to connect the glad hands. We'll grab our glad hands, our red emergency glad hand, our blue service glad hand, and our green electrical pigtail, and we will connect those to the trailer at this time. After raising the trailer, it is now safe to pull away. And that concludes our driver orientation of our Ottawa T2 spotter. Again, thank you for trusting Turbo Terminal Tractors with all of your lease, sales, and service needs. If you need any further assistance, please reach out to Turbo Service Solutions teams. Thanks and have a great day.